Hello everyone. Today I have my tournament game, my first tournament game anyhow, for the finals of this summer 2017 conquest in this video for you today. So I'm playing the black side against Memberr, who is playing the white side. Now it looks like we both have Antirush, but actually Memberr has fake Antirush. He has Shield Wall right here. He also has his foot soldier in a weird spot. I don't particularly know why that is. Maybe that was an oversight when he was changing his units. But regardless, this game starts off Scout Up 4. An extra weird Scout Up 4 because it's kind of closer to his wall. Still haven't quite figured it out. But I go ahead and I'm going to play the 4-3 and he's playing his Scouts Up 4. So I don't want to play my 4-4 attack unless the scouts are up 6 spaces, or 5 and 6 spaces. So he moves his champion up 3. So this champion can't reach the back row in how many turns is that? 2. He can't reach it in 2 turns, but he can reach it in 3 turns. So if I need to protect something, I could put it on the back row and keep it safe. So I was anticipating at this point that he had Shield Wall. And I actually didn't want to capture and Stoicism, but maybe this is the best option because an easy, I guess, mistake to fall into is after he moves the champion up, I weaken, and then I have to use Chastise. Well, maybe I don't have to use Chastise. Maybe I could just weaken. So I just weaken and turn, and then he has charge and captures the halberd, and then uses either Stoicism or Shield Wall. So I think in this situation, well, maybe even Battle Cry is good. I'm just gonna go with Shield Wall here. And I have to use Chastise, and I'm going to need to put my champion in the corner. And then he has Battle Cry, can move up a scout. And here I can't really do anything except close my wall. But even in closing my wall, I have this awful move coming to me. So Stoicism now, and I'm left with nothing here. So that's basically what I was looking at. Perhaps more accurate is instead not weakening that champion. Could lead to a very interesting game. So instead of weakening the champion after he moves it up 4 spaces, maybe just something like captures a scout. Gain some command points back, and if he ever wants to recapture it, then that's going to be a turn he has to waste. So now he's at 100 command points. He could try to charge, and while he's doing that, I would be capturing over here, so his rush wouldn't be as good, and he doesn't have the extra command points from the sacrificed scout. So or maybe he could just recapture. Maybe better is to build his wall back. But he gets 120, 150 command points on the next turn. So he's got Charge Battle Cry. I'm going to, I guess, weaken, use Chastise. Just so that he has to use a command like Shield Wall. Maybe Battle Cry is more accurate, I don't know. But this makes his rush less effective still, so can put the champion in the corner, or maybe I could even leave the champion. Oh no, I can't leave him up front, that's for sure. Okay. So champion's gotta go in the corner. And his rush would be less effective here. So, oh, forgot to use a command there, like Stoicism. Doesn't matter. You can see the rush would be less effective, but I didn't want to play into that, so I was trying to play conservatively and not give him the extra command points for that scout. So what I did instead was I captured without Stoicism. He recaptures with the foot soldier. And I play my scout up to threaten his champion. He has the option of capturing with this scout. It's out of range of the foot soldier, but he can actually block this move just by moving his scout up. So one thing I could have done was move the scout over a little bit more so that it has 2 attacking spots on this champion. But in doing that, I'm separating him from the other scouts. So I don't particularly like that option. But the game continues. He plays his scout up to block my scout, so I capture with Stoic at this point because I'm more comfortable with the amount of command points that I have. So he moves his champion up and ignores the scout. And even here, I wonder if something like just ignore the champion, capture another scout is any good. But I decide to weaken here. And he uses Stoicism, not Shield Wall. Although he could reveal that if he wants to. So now I move my champion in the corner. And he naturally is going to charge and Shield Wall. And I box myself in, and he takes the second halberd. So I move my foot soldier out, and I just chastise this champion so I can capture it. He places halberd up a few spaces here. And I go ahead and capture that champion. Now, perhaps capturing with this champion was a little bit of a mistake. I was figuring this champion would have a little extra range with these scouts, protecting him with this wall. But not shown here is actually a pool that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's actually a pool right here. And if he gets his champion behind this pool, he can actually threaten to charge and battle cry my champion. But I can't do it back to him. So perhaps this was a bit of an oversight. I did perhaps have plans to move the champion up behind the pool. So that I could get that advantage, but I guess the game just didn't work out in that way. So he moves a scout up. Now, if we go back and you look at his commands, they're still fairly on cooldown. So this gives me the opportunity to charge with the foot soldier and actually not use any commands to defend him. Now, this is very nice when your opponent has rush because they can't use chastise to stop your attacks. They are reliant on other commands like Stoicism to defend important units, or they just have to let them drop. So halberd moves up and hits the foot soldier down to 100 HP, and I go ahead and I capture with battle cry there, and now I'm threatening to take one of these scouts right afterwards. And he comes up with this move. I guess it was a bit of a trap. He charges and captures one of my scouts back here. And he doesn't use any commands on the scout. Now, if you'd like to pause the video and find a good move, you can do that. I think perhaps the best move I could have made here was just to capture that scout, considering the material advantage I would have had. So it would be 2 champions and 2 scouts versus a champion, a halberd, a scout, and a foot soldier after he recaptures my foot soldier. Although maybe I could squeeze some extra material out of him, capture and use Stoicism might be a good option. But, and I think maybe that was my only option for winning here. What I did instead ends up leading to a draw. I capture his scout. I still don't use any commands on this foot soldier. And perhaps I'm being a bit wasteful with my command points. I actually have a good amount saved up if we rewind. I have 350 command points saved up, and I'm still not really using them, so I think I'm kind of squandering them. So this actually gives him the option to battle cry and shield wall his scout and hit the champion, and that really hurts because he can take a scout next, or he can weaken the other champion, or he could weaken this champion again with hopes of getting this foot soldier into play. Although maybe I think the other options are a bit better. So nothing I can do to that scout, and I also can't kill this foot soldier, so I just go ahead and move the foot soldier up some more. He's threatening the halberd and the champion now. So the champion or the halberd could capture this foot soldier and leave the scout vulnerable. And then I could recapture. Not as good as it would have been. Maybe that's still winning. I don't know, but of course the correct move would not be to capture this foot soldier. Instead, he captures one of my other scouts here. So he keeps the deflection going. And to this, I actually weaken his champion to 400 HP. Another option I had was to use stoicism on the foot soldier to whack the halberd, and then use chastise on the champion so I could get the halberd after that. So that was one option I had. Although, of course, he would take my other scout and then get a weaken on my champion. Although I still have deflections going with the foot soldier to weaken his champion back. And I think maybe that still would have won. Maybe it still would have won. So instead, I actually weaken the champion to 400 HP and use chastise on the scout. So this is going to make him use stoicism to save it. So he's aiming for this other scout, or potentially even a weaken. Maybe he even could just come back to use charge battle cry to finish off this champion. Is another option. Let's see. So he moves his halberd up a little bit to get that defense in case my champions try to come at his. When he doesn't have chastise, it's very important that he gets his halberds up 3 to 4 spaces for that extra protection. So when you're playing against Rush, you actually don't have to worry about having a slow foot soldier or an extra scout or anything like that that's going to let them use chastise on you. But you do have to worry about what their last unit is going to be, because you won't have chastise to use on that unit. So I just simply move my champion up. So this champion is actually in charge range of this halberd. However, if he charges the champion, then I believe his own champion is going to be open for an attack from my champion. So he didn't want to do that. Instead, he plays the halberd up just to threaten to capture the champion. But the champion comes back. He's still in charge range. He can't get out of it now. Another option I had there, I think, was even just using charge on the champion to capture the halberd. Then he has to use charge on his champion to recapture, or battle cry on the foot soldier to recapture. So, but that's not what happened. I capture his scout, and now he goes ahead and uses charge. I guess he feels like the halberd is far enough away from this champion, although this game ends in a draw, if you can see where it's going. So I capture with battle cry. Maybe now you can really see why it's a draw. And he moves his foot soldier up. And now I play a little bit of ring around the rosy with this foot soldier and his champion here. So he's trying to move his foot soldier up to weaken my champion, because the weakened champion is going to be much less effective against his rush champion. And I am actually trying to get battle cry on his champion, so it's going to be at 100 HP. That's going to mean Shield Wall is not any use to him unless he uses it with another command. So I move my scout, he moves his champion forward. I move my scout, champion, scout, chasing the champion around. And here I actually moved the champion back a space because he was about to get behind the pool that I was talking about. So I did have to use a move there, but I don't think it matters. So he moves, and I'm chasing him. And so at this point, now he can't run any farther to the right or to the left. And if he tries to move forward, he's going to have to use a command, and he's going to lose because I can just chastise him and defend with my own commands. My own champion is at full HP. So here he actually moves his foot soldier up, and now it's threatening to attack my champion and weaken it. So I weaken his champion to 100 HP now. I chastise his foot soldier. Not that it really matters. He can just wait there for a turn. And yeah, now after I move over, he can attack with Battle Cry. And I set up a little trap for him. Let's see, I actually did not take that foot soldier. What I did instead was I moved up and I used Stoicism on my champion here. So I have Chastise on cooldown next turn, and his only option is to sacrifice the foot soldier, because if he doesn't, his champion gets chastised. And after he sacrifices the foot soldier, he needs to protect his champion that's vulnerable here. I guess maybe another option he could... Well, no, he can't move the champion away because then I still get chast on him, and his foot soldier's out of play. So his only option is to sacrifice the foot soldier for no damage and defend his own champion with Stoicism, because I don't have Battle Cry, he doesn't have Battle Cry. And here we can basically just wait this out. So once I move out of range, there's really nothing to be done. He can't approach even with all the commands on cooldown, nor can I. So his champion's at 100 HP. Shield Wall's useless. He has to use that with Stoicism or Battle Cry. Stoicism's probably the better one to use it with. So he approaches, he uses these, Stoicism and Shield Wall, to which I can defend with Battle Cry and Stoicism. So his Battle Cry won't be enough to defend for my champion. So nor can I approach. If I try to approach, all I've got is Stoicism, and that loses to Battle Cry. If I try Stoicism and Battle Cry, he can defend with Stoicism, and yeah, this is actually a draw, guys. So I definitely could have played this game better, and maybe just not try to keep so much deflection going and so many tactics in play. Sometimes the better option is the more simple one. But I'll have the videos of our other games coming out soon enough. But thank you all for watching, and join me when I come out with those videos.